I am Walter Heron Taylor, and I served as Colonel-in-Chief Aide-de-Camp to General Lee during the Civil War. The strategy of the South during the time of the Civil War was one of defense. General Lee followed this strategy and would only attack when great opportunity was presented. Lee's goal was to prolong conflict. Lee also wanted to free the state of Virginia, and in the hopes of freeing Virginia, the army was split into 3 corps. General Longstreet, General Ewell, and General A.P. Hill led the 3 corps, and on the 27th of June, the 1st and 3rd Corps were near Chambersburg, but the 2nd was still advancing. And on the 1st of July, Lee had reached Cashtown, where he stopped and gave instruction to General Heth, and General Heth was to determine the forces of the opposition at Gettysburg and report it immediately. And General Stuart, who was leading the cavalry, had not yet reported to Lee since they had crossed the river, and Lee had no information on the Federal Army's whereabouts or movements. He was going in blind. Once Lee arrived in Gettysburg, he was met with the adversary, and General Heth was already deeply engaged. The South had great success in this battle, and once General Early ordered his line forward, 5,000 prisoners of the North were left and the rest had been ran out of the town of Gettysburg. General Lee ordered General Ewell to seize the Federals on the outskirts of Gettysburg, but General Ewell did not seize the Federals. Thus, the Federals would continue to fortify their stronghold. General Lee's plan was to keep on pressing forward while they had the opportunity, but after a conference, they decided not to press any further towards the enemy, but Lee desired to. He planned to attack Early on the 2nd day with General Longstreet's corps, but Longstreet's corps was detained and arrived late. Thus, the confusion had begun. Because Longstreet was delayed, they were not set up until 4 p.m. By this time, the North had gained ground and controlled Round Top. Even though it was late, the plan went through, and we gained a good amount of distance considering the circumstances and recent confusion. General Longstreet wrote a letter to me stating that he was unaware of the surprise attack early on the 2nd day of the Battle of Gettysburg, but I had not heard of the early surprise attack either. General Lee changed the plan to now attack in the early morning of the 3rd day, and after a plan had finally been formed, General Lee rode his horse to the center of the southern line to watch the movements. On the 3rd morning of July, there was a great deal of confusion of who was supposed to support who on the advancement of Cemetery Hill. The left side was left without support, and it was practically exposed. It was to my disappointment when I realized only General Pickett's division and Hill's corps took action in this movement, and our adversaries had gained a victory due to a great deal of confusion. It was a major disappointment after such a successful 1st and 2nd day of the battle. The 4th day was rather quiet after our failed attempt to gain ground on the 3rd day.